When Jesus said we could only approach heaven in his name, was he saying we had to say a magic prayer and become a Christian? No. I'll tell you about it in today's Inspire You. When Jesus talked about approaching the Spirit of heaven, God or the Father, as his language would have said, and said you had to come in his name, today Christians will teach us that that means you say the sinner's prayer and you become a Christian and you attend a Christian church and you're now going to get to go to heaven. But that was not the point of Jesus saying, do this in my name. It didn't mean go to lunch after church and before you eat, say a prayer and finish it with in Jesus' name, so it'll be official. The term in my name was a common practice to use for followers of a teacher. And many, particularly Jewish men, wanted to find a teacher to follow that would then give them guidance for their life. And when you followed a teacher, you would say, I live in the name of that teacher. That meant they followed the example and the teachings and the life modeled by that teacher. And say, for example, if somebody followed teacher Ezekiel, they would be an Ezekielian or an Ezekielian, whatever that term would be. Or if they followed Bob, the teacher, they would be a Bobian. And so Christian, likewise, means one striving to look like Christ, or one who follows Christ as their teacher. This means there's not an exclusive path through Jesus that is the only way to get to heaven. And we can talk about what heaven really means at another time, but that Jesus is a powerful way. And for those of us that grew up in Christian homes, sometimes we think, do we either have to believe in the exclusivity of our religion or throw it all out? And the answer is no. God won't be mad if you say, hey, I think there's going to be Jewish people in heaven and Buddhists in heaven and Muslims in heaven, but my pathway has always been through my teacher, Jesus. That's why I call myself a Christian. That doesn't mean I said a sinner's prayer and I get to go to heaven at the end of it all. That means that my life is dedicated to striving to live as the best version of myself through the teachings and the life modeled by Jesus Christ. And sometimes I wish Christians in America would understand that term and then would try to actually live up to the model of Jesus rather than just saying, we said the magic prayer and now we're all good. You don't have to be a Christian to get to heaven. But if it is your pathway that best connects you to the spirit world, then by all means, you don't have to reject Christ just because you've rejected your Christian church. I often talk about it like our cell phones. I'm an AT&T customer, and the reason I'm an AT&T customer is because I've been one since a long time. Somewhere along the line, somebody hooked me up with AT&T, and now it is the way that I access the mobile phone grid that we have. But if you are a T-Mobile client or one of a Verizon client, you are accessing the same grid as I am. You're just doing it through a different conduit to get there. And I think religion is much the same. And for those of us that have an inheritance and lineage of Christianity, by all means, let's connect our spirituality through Christ, and let's love those that choose another pathway to connect to heaven's spiritual grid of goodness. And I promise God won't be mad at you for that. I hope you're inspired by this, and I hope you'll go to my website, pastor-paul.com, to be a subscriber or check out all the benefits we have there, and also our Deconstruction U mentorship. Don't walk your deconstruction pathway alone, but join us in Deconstruction U at pastor-paul.com.